What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Drive-Thru. So this was a first time watch for me. The reason I sought this movie out is because basically I saw the cover for this on Plex a while back, and I thought the cover kind of caught my attention. I was like, okay, it's like, like a killer clown slasher movie from the 2000s, and it has some fast food elements. That's kind of fresh. That's kind of unique, and I'm a sucker for slasher movies that involve, a killer clown. So I thought, what the heck? Let me check that out. So it's been in my watch list on Plex for forever, and I just never got around to watching it, but it came on Tubi recently, and I'm a big fan of Plex. I think that's a good service, but I like Tubi a little bit more. I don't know, that's like my go-to streaming service. So I added this to my Tubi watch list, and I was looking for like a 90-minute movie to watch last night. So boom, I finally checked it out, and just being 100% honest, overall, I was not a fan of this movie. There was some fun to be had, and there were quite a few things that I did like about the movie, but overall, I was just not into this. This is not something that, it's not something that I would watch again, but at the same time I wasn't, completely bored out of my mind, and I didn't want to like yell at the screen. But towards the end, like the ending did kind of irritate me. But overall, like it wasn't a terrible movie, but I was just not really a fan. It wasn't my cup of tea. So jumping into the plot summary, the movie centers around this high school girl. Her name's Mackenzie, and her friends, pretty much her friends and peers, kids at her school are being killed by this mascot of this fast food restaurant. And I mean, like the mascot who's killing them wears like a modified costume of the mascot of the fast food restaurant, but it's pretty much they're pretty much getting killed by someone who's dressing up as the mascot of the restaurant. So anyways, all these teenagers are being killed by this fast food mascot, and the main girl, Mackenzie, comes to realize that all of the kids that are getting killed are like their parents were all friends with her mom. So she begins to get suspicious, and she thinks there's something deeper going on. She thinks that her mom is hiding something. So that is the basic plot summary without getting too far into spoiler territory. I mean, I didn't get into spoiler territory at all, because I'm not trying to do that on here. Even though this movie came out in like 2007, it was new to me, so it can still be new to other people. So I don't want to spoil too much. But anyways, the way I'm gonna structure this video might be a little different than some of my other videos. I just have in my notes, I just have blocks of text. Stuff I liked, stuff I did not like. So I'm gonna start off with the stuff that I liked. So so basically the restaurant in this movie, it's called Hella Burger, but it's basically McDonald's, and the mascot is pretty much Ronald McDonald. So I liked the concept of people getting killed by someone wearing, the costume of a fast food mascot, because I don't know about you all, but I always thought Ronald McDonald was creepy. Like, I mean, okay, you know, clowns are creepy regardless. You know, there's a reason there's so many horror movies that have clowns as an antagonist. Like, clowns are scary. You know, I mean, when I was a kid, I was a little creeped out by clowns. Not that much, because I always liked, you know, Halloween, and I liked creepy, spooky stuff. So I wasn't like that scared of clowns, but I was a little scared of clowns. Not gonna lie. So the fact that the killer is pretty much like wearing a you know, a Ronald McDonald costume, like, not really. It doesn't look like Ronald McDonald at all, but that's kind of what it's supposed to be. Like, I like that because when I was a kid, I always thought Ronald McDonald was so creepy. He was creepy looking, you know. I don't know, like, okay, nowadays they don't really use Ronald McDonald. Like, McDonald's does not use Ronald McDonald in any of their marketing. I feel like there's a reason for that. He probably you know, haunted the nightmare of many kids. You know, he still haunts my nightmares to this day. I wake up, you know, I'll wake up at like 2 a.m. in the morning in a cold sweat after having a Ronald McDonald nightmare. That probably happens, you know, two times a week. Nothing crazy. But anyways, I like the idea of having a fast food clown mascot as the killer, because I always thought Ronald McDonald was creepy. So yeah, super fresh concept. And you know, like I said, I feel like people can relate to that, because you know, like, Ronald McDonald as a fast food clown mascot was super creepy, and that's basically, you know, what the killer in this it's supposed to be Ronald McDonald. So yeah, I like that element. Okay, in addition to the killer being this fast food mascot, which is reminiscent of Ronald McDonald, there were like a lot of other fast food elements that were utilized in the movie. So, you know, some of the kills kind of related to fast food. There's this one kill early on where this guy, his head is submerged in a deep fryer. I mean, that's fun. That's super creative. And then there was, okay, a little bit later on in the movie, there's these kids, and they're just like these like big time stoners. They just get like high out of their minds, and they go you know, play in like the little kids play area at the restaurant, and the killer just like pops out of the ball pit and starts killing them. So I thought that was really fun that they utilized like the whole play area, because you know, once again, when I was growing up, okay, when I was growing up, I ate so many Happy Meals. Like, I was like I ate so many, I would get Happy Meals on the reg. So yeah, I remember like most McDonald's locations, they had like, I think it was called like the play place or whatever, but it was like this play area, and there were these things, there were like these like tubes that you could crawl in, and some of them were bigger than others, but you could just like go in these like, in this like network of tubes, and the McDonald's play places were like the coolest things ever. Like, it was like a little hideout. It was, I don't know, it was just, you would just crawl around these like little tunnels. Like, it was fun, and they would have like little windows and stuff and other stuff going on. Like, I feel like there were these like weird nets, and like you would just go in the middle, and there would be this weird like net, and then you would go back in like a little tunnel. I always liked the McDonald's play places, and you know, I feel like how I mentioned earlier that, you know, I thought Ronald McDonald was scary, but he's not. He's not really. You don't really see Ronald McDonald unless it's like a throwback promo. Like nowadays, you don't really see him in the commercials or anything. But yeah, like the play places. Once again, those I remember. You know, going to McDonald's and playing in like the little McDonald's play place when I was a kid, and I thought it was so fun. But nowadays, um, they took them out of like most McDonald's locations. Like you won't find a play place. Like it's like super rare to see them nowadays. So I kind of like that. That was kind of like a nostalgic thing, and I like that they utilized that in the movie. It was, you know, fresh. It was unique, and I mean that's awesome. You got the killer popping out of the ball pit. That's mad creative. That's fun. I thought that was cool. So yeah, I liked how they kind of incorporated a lot of elements from, you know, fast food restaurants or McDonald's locations, and they tied into the like the kills, or you know the like, you know, the, I don't know, I would just say like the locations, you know, like the environment, you know, it tied into the environment pretty well. So I thought that was cool. Uh, I thought, okay, so this movie came out in the 2000s, like 2007, so kind of late 2000s, but I thought this movie just totally had the 2000s vibe, and I'm a sucker for 2000s movies. I grew up. I was like, you know, a little kid in the 2000s, so I don't know. I have like a special place in my heart for 2000s movies, and especially 2000s horror movies. You know, like I'm partial to 2000s movies. Like a lot of people hate the remakes from the 2000s. I love them because it's like I grew up like that's like my era, you know. So this movie totally had like the 2000s vibe, even though it came out in the, you know, the late 2000s, and I love that stuff. You know, I could see where people would have nostalgia for this. I mean, this was the first time watch for me, so I wasn't really I didn't really have like nostalgia, but I can see where, you know, if people grew up watching this like could have a nostalgic feel like big time. So yeah, I like the 2000s vibe. And then okay, like Morgan Spurlock made a cameo. He actually recently passed away, so rest in peace. He was like he was like super young, so that was pretty unfortunate. But anyways, you know, Morgan Spurlock, he was the creator of Super Size Me, so just like the fact that he's in this is kind of fun because, you know, it's a fast food themed horror movie. He, you know, made Super Size Me. It's funny, but anyways, he has this cameo where he's like the restaurant manager or something, and he's just totally power tripping. Like he just wants to. It's like, give me a reason, you know. He just wants a reason to just go off on someone and abuse the little bit of power that he has. So there's, you know, those stoner kids are in the play pit. He's like, he like rushes over. He does like this like flip move over the counter, like some action movie stuff, but he kind of flubs it up, f's it up. But anyways, he's like, he like goes in. He's like, hey, this is a 12 and under area, and he yells at the kids. So his little cameo was fun, and just like I said, the idea of him being in this was funny. So yeah, I liked his little cameo, and yeah, that was the last thing I had for the stuff that I liked. Now I'm gonna get into the stuff that I did not like. So here's the deal with the kills. You know, most of the kills were on screen. There weren't really too many cutaways that I remember, and there was a decent amount of variety with the kills. There, like I said, there were some creative ones, but man, there was so much CGI. Like so many of the kills were CGI. It was like even if they were CGI, they would maybe be like half practical, half CGI. But there was, like I said, it wasn't like one or two kills. There was like a lot of kills that used like heavy CGI, and the CGI just did not look good. So, personally, I'm not a fan of CGI. Like, little CGI is fine, but like when CGI is overused, it usually like takes me out of a movie. So, yeah, the excess CGI used in this movie for the kills, totally took me out of it, and I was really, not a fan of that. Um, Also, this is another thing that I really did not like about the movie. So, um, the killer was revealed like relatively early in the movie, not like super early, not in like the first act, but there were a couple. There were like two main people who could have been the killer, and instead of making it more of like a mystery or a whodunit, they just kind of tell you, no, this person is the killer. This person is not the killer. Relatively early in the movie, and I don't know, for some reason I didn't like that. Like I don't know. I kind of like there to be more mystery and like have this big reveal at the end, but they didn't go for that. They just kind of like tell you too soon, in my opinion. So I was not a huge fan of that. Um, During the climax, I feel like there's not really a lot of tension. There's not a lot of struggle, and I feel like the killer is just easily bested, and I don't know. It's just, you know I'm waiting the whole movie for this epic showdown, and I feel like it was like the killer was bested too easily. It was just it wasn't like the payoff that I wanted. It was just like, oh, like the whole time, even when they were fighting him, like it just did not feel like a struggle. So yeah, I didn't really like the climax. It was kind of lackluster. And speaking of the ending, um, the ending just like left a bad taste in my mouth. Okay, the the entire movie is, you know very straightforward. It takes place in, like a realistic setting, but the like the final ending goes into this supernatural territory, and I found it very confusing. But at the same time, it was confusing. It was kind of, I felt like I got like cheated. Like it was just, I don't know. It was like they like threw the ending together last minute. Like it was just, and then like I said, like there was nothing. There was uh, no part of the movie hinted at any like supernatural backstory for. Well, I don't want to say backstory because I don't want to. Yeah, but basically there was no supernatural elements in the movie. It was all set in like a realistic world. But yeah, the final ending went into this supernatural territory, and it was jarring because it didn't fit with the rest of the movie. But it was also just it just it was not good in my opinion. So I didn't like, the whole supernatural aspect for like the final ending, and that's it was just it was like it just left a bad taste in my mouth. So that was the last thing I had there for my dislikes. So now I'm gonna get into a recommendation and head out. Oh yeah, okay. Basically, this is a spoiler. I just remembered this, but I I don't know if other people have this gripe, but you know, okay, this actually is. I didn't get in any spoilers, but now this is a spoiler, so spoiler alert. You know, turn the video off if you don't want to get spoiled. But basically, the killer is someone who was, you know, like presumably killed, but then they're just like alive, and I feel like I felt like it was kind of weird. Like they never explained how this person is just like alive, all like out of nowhere. You know, like were they buried? Did they climb up from their grave? Like they must have not been cremated. Like this person, everyone thought they were dead. They must have been buried. What were they doing this whole time? Like I just the fact that they were like this person was definitively dead, but now they're just alive. They survived and they're killing people now. It just like raised so many questions in my head where like I wish it was explained just like after they revealed that this person is not dead and they did survive this incident and they're, you know, killing people. Like I would have liked them to explain it more, how this person survived and maybe like what the heck they've been doing for all this time. So yeah, that was like the last thing that I wanted to mention for my dislikes. But anyways, now I'm going to get into my recommendation. So like I said, there was some stuff that I liked, but overall there was like kind of a lot more that I disliked, or the dislikes kind of outweighed the likes. So in my opinion, I would say this movie is not worth your time. You know, there's other slashers from this era that are way more worthy of your time. So I would say I do not recommend it. Skip this one. So yeah, there you go. That has been my recommendation. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.